as far as photo reference, when you look at photo reference, a lot of people, and I battle this all the time in my drawing classes, painting classes, people just don't know how to pick good photo reference. They don't understand what makes a good photo. And a lot of times in art classes, especially our art atelier that I've run, is that we use a 300-watt bulb, and it's usually a direct bulb, and it's a very, very concrete lighting, meaning that it just projects very specific shadows, very specific cast and form shadows. And it's very easy for the new student to learn how to navigate form using the proper edges and proper value renditions. More subtle lighting, like north lighting, for example, which casts a more steady light and is a little bit more even, and a little bit, again, a little bit more ambiguous, a little bit more subtle. You have to be a little bit more knowledgeable to navigate that light, because you'll be navigating from halftones rather than navigating from really strong shadow. Lighting that does not work well, and you can look at the handouts that I've provided. They show examples of these different kinds of lighting. I'm going to go through them very quickly. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can go through there and do some research on that, read through them, get a good understanding of them. You know, washed out photos, photos that don't have a light source. You can't really see any detail in the lights. Everything seems to be completely blurred out. That's not good. We can't, it's too difficult. And you don't want to make photo reference picking a difficult thing for you. It's a shame when it really deters you or makes you work way harder to get the result. Other light sources that is where, you know, maybe there's a really dramatic light, but the shadow side of that individual, or if say you're drawing heads is a good example, but this could work for figures as well. But maybe you can't see information in the shadows. For example, the eyes are just completely blacked out. Well, that's good for sculptural integrity of form, meaning you can see the real sculptural shape of the form. But you'd have to dig in there and actually invent a lot of information that doesn't exist, meaning you'd have to be, number one, incredibly knowledgeable, and it makes your job way harder. So you don't want to find reference where the shadows have completely blown out all the information either, just as the lights don't want to blow out all the information. There's things like rim lighting, backlighting, dual lighting. We usually want to keep primarily in the beginning stages of learning how to draw well to direct light sources, not multiple light sources, which is theatrical lighting. Lighting you see on book covers and movie posters and things of that sort. We'll save that for later. That's more advanced lighting. So I like light that has a very direct feel. Okay, other things is just, you know, just too small of photos to work from. You can't see the detail. You want, you know, good high resolution photographs. So a lot of people will bring in photos that they pulled off the internet. They're 72 DPI or something, and they're just terrible. They're washed out, and you just can't see the information. So you want inspirational reference that has some kind of draw for you, some kind of inspiration to want to draw it, because you may be spending 10 hours, 12 hours on that drawing. And if it's a drawing you just kind of randomly picked and didn't give good thought to it, you may run out of steam, you know, 20 minutes into that thing, an hour into that thing. And I see that happen all the time in my painting classes and drawing classes. So a lot of times I end up providing the reference and then teach people how to bring in reference, let me look at it, and I'll give you input on what I think about it. But it's very clear. Just look through the handouts, read them, and then, you know, start to pick your photo reference out of periodicals, magazines. A lot of times I'll look at a magazine at the bookshop, and if it has 4 or 5 images I'd like to draw from it that are beautiful, I'll buy it, I'll cut them out, I'll recycle the rest of the magazine, and I'll draw from those 4 references. Maybe it costs $2 per reference material. That's a bargain. Okay, so the books you want to look for, you know, really definitive books like from National Geographic or something on a photographer that shoots all over the world. There's a couple Faden books out there, that's the publisher, that just beautiful photos. And we'll go over some of those. We'll have a list of some of them for you. So anyway, today I picked an old black and white piece of reference of Bertrand Russell, who's a really inspirational person, great writer, great thinker, and just thought it, you know, I've read a lot about him and he inspires me greatly. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a drawing of him. He has a great face, a lot of character, a lot of the rhythm lines we've talked about, and it's very well lit. So here we have you know, an old obscure photo, black and white, and really beautiful lighting, really beautiful tone, lots of halftones. Really just really nice image to work from. And so this is the image that I'm going to be you know, laying in right now. And when you do work from photos, it's not much different. We're going to bring it up through a linear lay-in, then we're going to do our mapping, then we're going to inject our middle value. I don't think I'm going to take this all the way to a finish because, again, we are in level 1 head drawing. I'll revisit this later and finish it off in another lesson, and you'll get to see a really high-end finish of it. But right now, let's just join me for this, this little demonstration of working from a photo.